that discussion would be like where we would dive in is like we would really go into her why. Why is she doing this? Why does this matter? And not just on the personal level, but really, why does this matter for the audience? Like, what are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? Let's say I had an eating disorder and I want to talk about that with teenage girls. Okay. So I could make this all about really worrying about what these teenage girls are going to say about me. Are they going to like my outfit? Are they going to think my shoes are cool? Are they going to think I'm like, who am I to talk to them? Okay. So I can make that all about me. And then I'd be really nervous because, like, I think teenage girls could be really scary, right?
Welcome to Success Leaves Clues, the podcast where we interview business owners on how they built their businesses and the hard lessons they learned along the way. My name is David Wynn, and I'm a business coach and the founder of Purple Circle, where we help business owners achieve their first 6-figure, 7-figure, and 8-figure year, all without sacrificing their quality of life. Before becoming a business coach and before founding Purple Circle, I started and scaled several 7- and 8-figure coaching businesses, and I've been a consultant at several businesses doing over $100 million each, including some that are publicly listed and doing over $1 billion each. In every episode of the podcast, you're going to learn lessons that took our guests years to learn, and you'll be able to learn that in minutes. No matter if you're a new business owner or an established business owner, every episode is going to give you the clues in order to elevate your business.
Welcome to Success Leaves Clues podcast. I'm Pedro, and today I'm joined by Amanda Hennessey, founder of Boston Public Speaking and San Diego Public Speaking, who has built her entire practice around one powerful reframe. Public speaking doesn't have to feel like an horror movie with terror, hiding, and dread, but can instead be experienced as an adventure with exciting risks, discoveries, and massive rewards. Amanda works with experts who struggle with self-doubt, helping them speak with power, personality, and ease so they can change the rooms and Zooms they are in without losing precious sleep. Through one-on-one coaching and customized corporate workshops, Amanda's bi-coastal practice serves clients across California, Boston, and New York, bringing a deeply personalized approach to one of the most universally feared human experiences. Her work proves that these same expertise that makes someone brilliant in their field can become magnetic and compelling on any stage when the right coaching unlocks the authentic communicator already inside them. Welcome to the show, Amanda.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, Pedro.
Yeah, it's great to have you. From the moment we met, a speaking coach, so I feel a little bit of pressure right now. Okay.
I've heard that before. So let's go back to my last name, which is Hennessey, and just know I'm here to loosen you up, man. Like, so we're just having a chat, and I'm not counting ums. Like, I know people suddenly are like, oh no, and then I think, oh no, that was so not my goal. Always is like, I want people to feel safe because the best stuff comes out. The best ideas, their real self comes out when there's safety. So you are safe here.
Okay.
All is good.
I feel safe already. Okay. Now, Amanda, I am kind of a comic book nerd myself, right? So I love the first editions, the origin stories. So let's backtrack a little. Okay, because every coach has that moment where they look at their life and say, yeah, I guess this is what I'm doing now, right? So when was that for you?
I'm going to use a comic book reference for this. And I want to tell you about a seminal moment. And that is, I started out as an actress, and I was in a play called The Superheroine Monologues, and I was playing Lois Lane in the version of Lois Lane where she's desperate to get Superman to marry her, and she will do anything to get him to marry her. It's the 1950s. She just wants to be a housewife. And my husband played Clark Kent and Superman, but had to change in real time. Okay, so I bring this up to connect to what you said, but also to say that this was a huge moment for me of dealing with stage fright, of dealing with my own stage fright. So I had a master's degree in acting. I had so much experience. I had so much training. It was a brand new play. I had an amazing piece that was a perfect fit for my humor. I was getting great reviews. My friends were enjoying the show, and I was still terrified. I was getting horrible, horrible stomach aches. I thought it was food poisoning. It was not. And and so even though that moment was a nightmare for me, it changed everything. And it really, around that same time, uh, somebody approached me about helping them with a presentation. And so as I was exploring my own stage fright and figuring out how to deal with it, suddenly I had people asking me, because they knew I was, let me back up, I was also an acting coach and teacher and professor at this time. And somebody from my community had reached out and said, can you help me with a presentation? And so it was through invitation that the public speaking coaching began. And it was actually all of my pain and suffering and really figuring out what that stage fright was about that really has led me to make a huge difference in people's lives. And so was an acting coach, became a public speaking coach. And over time, I became so enamored with the public speaking space because I saw it had so much depth and deep personal change and creativity and making an impact in industries that I went all in on that. And probably going all in on that probably happened around 2014 or so, like in terms of my heart being fully focused on that. I think I answered your question.
I think you did. Okay. I'm just thinking about the spoiler alert, right? Because eventually Lois Lane ended up marrying Clark Kent in real life, like you did with your husband, right? Which is interesting. Now, there's another thing I'm really curious about. Because at the start, you mentioned people are like reaching out to you, right? You got an invitation, help me with this. But there is a moment in every coach's life that is coming from, I'm helping people, I'm advice giving. This sounds like a calling to, you know what, I'm building a real business around this. It's almost like a shift. And I'm not sure in your case, and this is why I'm asking, is like, when did that moment happen for you? Like that you felt your identity moving from business owner towards coaching, right? Is it like first paying client, first invoice, when you realize, okay, this is happening?
For the public speaking coach thing, I think because I had been offering those services under our acting class umbrella, and so I'd been paid as a coach already, but it was 2014 where I realized like I need a website. I had been getting enough requests and business from companies who had found the acting class website, from people who just kept going through the acting class website, finding me there, and I just saw this momentum was building. And so that was the moment I thought, this is its own thing. I'm going to get the domain name Boston Public Speaking. That will be very easy to search for people. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to make a whole website on this. And it was, always takes a lot of work to build that website. But, and then it became its own entity. So I think it was feeling the momentum of it made me feel like I want to formalize it with its own website and name.
Oh, it felt like real, like the website and the website launch and everything. That's cool. Okay.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
let me ask you this. I'm thinking right now, because in the early days for coaching, a lot of coaches out there at the start, that was my case, for example. We're trying to help everyone, right? If someone calls, we're like, yeah, I can do that. And eventually we sharpen the blade and we attract a certain type of people, right? So my question to you is the evolution from who you start serving and who you serve now.
Yes, I think this is such a great question and thing to explore, because it is true. You are your early days, you want to help everybody because you're excited to have money and you're excited to learn and grow, and I think that's an awesome place to be. And I have ended up working with people in so many different industries, and all of it has been fascinating and exciting. And then also moving on and doing this for quite a while, really the advice everywhere is you need to niche down. You need to, and I know that part of me has been so incredibly resistant to that, because why? And it was also felt difficult for me to put into words, what do these people do? Because I work with people in marketing, in physics, in the culinary world. And I didn't want to limit by industry. And so what I decided to do is really focus in on the word expert, because what I saw is I really wanted to work with people at the top of their game in terms of, like, they are so good at what they do. And now there's that next level of their career and impact they want to make. And I want to help them have that, as they move towards that big conference talk or that big talk at their meeting that elevates their visibility. I want them to be able to match and be ready for that level of visibility. So it's not just getting a talk together. It's really helping them feel different in their own skin, really believe it's safe to be visible. And so I would say, yeah, shifting over to experts, that's where I am now. That's experts, and I'd say executives. That is where I shifted. But I feel for everybody in figuring this out, man. It's
not easy.
No. I still struggle with it a little bit, to be really honest.
Yeah, at least on my perspective, I may be completely off here. The way I see it, it's about them and not us, right? Because at the end of the day, you can help everyone in the speaking world, right? But if they don't see themselves like you can help them, which is a positioning thing, a marketing thing, like being the right room, they question themselves. And also, if you help everyone, what happens is that you're harder to find, right?
Totally. Yes.
That's the thing. They're like, oh, but I'm just typing here, speaking for X, Y, and Z, and I got like 200,000 results instead of 100, So it's a marketing thing and a bit of them understanding where they're at in their room, if they belong to the room. I had this guy that I met a while ago in a retreat, and he created a vertical, right? And his vertical was something like this. He places VAs for people, right? Different industries. And he can help all the industries. But he had to came up with like a website, for example, VA for painters and VA for accountants, which leads to the same stuff. It's the same VAs. It's just a thing of
specificity.
People like I type VA. I'm a painter. I type VA for painters. His website pops up. It's not just VAs. You know what I mean? So it's not really an us thing. The way I see it, it's more about them and them understanding they belong to that room. Did that make sense? I'm sorry. I got
completely. No, it totally made sense. And I think too, it's that way to help people self-identify. I sell chocolate ice cream. Oh, good. I like chocolate ice cream because for me, so many people don't like public speaking and so many people need help. That doesn't mean everybody wants that help. That doesn't mean everybody even wants to work on it. A lot of people are like, no, I'm just going to not do this. And that's fine. And that's fine.
Right.
But for me, it's the people who are like, I love what I do. I'm really good at this. And for me to keep doing what I do on a bigger level, I need to develop the skill. I am all in, even though I'm really uncomfortable. So, yes.
Okay. So let's do a little bit of a game of pretend here. Let's pretend I'm your ICP. I'm one of those experts, okay? The only thing that's preventing me to get to a higher level is the ability to speak on bigger stages, for example. Okay.
Yeah, great.
So first question, how would I be able to find you, like marketing-wise?
So I chose Boston Public Speaking and San Diego Public Speaking for very specific reasons. It has been incredibly helpful. It has been great because so many people find me through Google. Now there's all sorts, I get referrals. There's all sorts of different wacky, I have a book out there. Your Guide to Public Speaking. People find me through that and through other things. But I would say SEO for Google and now AI has been my number one thing because people typically Google public speaking and then the city they're in. And I'm
Oh my
in
God.
two different, yeah.
I gotta ask you then, because that's a great, this is it's so interesting, and I want to deep dive a little bit on that, because I see a lot of coaches using their names, right, as the name of the firm, the practice, whatever they want to call it. It's very usual for people to brand themselves in coaching, because in a way it's a very personal thing.
Yeah.
But now I want to talk a little bit about what you did, which is using the city and the thing you want to do, right? It's almost like that. So can you walk us through the logic behind that, and why would you distance yourself of using your own name?
I have several answers to this. And so let's rewind. It's over 20 years ago, and my husband and I start offering acting classes. And this is where, we're not taking classes on SEO, but we just thought it through. We're like, let's be Boston acting classes. That's what people are going to Google. Even though it is the most boring name, it's not clever, it's not quirky, it is exactly what it says. So we were number one forever. Okay. And so this was incredibly helpful. So I looked at that and I thought, I'm going to do public speaking coaching. Clearly, I'm going to do the same thing again. So guess what? We're teaching acting classes in San Diego. Quick quiz. What's the name of our business? San Diego acting classes. Okay. Like, it's just, no one is taking these names. People are not thinking it through. Okay. I was like, wow, these
Hilarious.
are also available. And so that was just the smartest thing we did. Now so in San Diego, I have a friend who's good in business. And she said to me, because now I had like the world of Boston, which I'd spent a lot of years in, built up a lot of experience, worked with so many different, interesting, smart people, moved to have my base in San Diego. I still go back to Boston very regularly for work, set up San Diego Public Speaking. And my friend Jasmine said to me, well, don't you want to work with people outside of those markets? And I said, I do. And sometimes people refer me, and they don't have to, I do work with people from all over the country. So that does happen. She's like, don't you think you should also have AmandaHennessey.com? So Pedro, I do. I also have that. And so what's been interesting about looking behind the scenes of that is knowing that if people know my name, then they'll look it up that way. That's the way they're going to get there. And in San Diego, when I've come here, often people know me more as Amanda Hennessey. If I meet them in person, they remember the name over San Diego Public Speaking. So people are going that way to find me. So so I'm maintaining 3 different websites, but it's working. It's working. And so that is, so yes to everything you said. Why don't you have your name? I do. How did you do that? It was available.
Dude, this is hilarious. Like the simplicity of it, and it's working, right? I really like that. Now, okay, back to the game of pretend. That was a side note. I'm still your ICP. I literally typed Boston public speaking, and then boom, Amanda, right? I clicked on the link, and I was like, this makes sense. Okay. That resonated, what you got out there resonated with me. And I'm like, I reach out, right? I want to work with you. So we can speed up the sales process a little bit, if you will. Like, let's say there's alignment. You can help me. I sense you guys can help me.
Do you want to give me your credit card right now over the podcast?
No,
I don't think we should do that. Yeah.
This is a game of
you're
pretend.
Okay,
Take it easy.
Right. Give me your pretend credit. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Yeah. Then we closed. Okay.
Yay.
Deal. Yay. New client. Now give me a little peek behind the curtain of how does it look like to work with you. Okay. And the outcomes I can expect. Like, let's rock and roll. I want to see a little bit about that.
Well, I have one question for you. What are we working on together? Do you have a specific talk coming up in this pretend scenario?
Give me the bread and butter, like the main one you usually help people with.
Yeah, let's say you've just been promoted at your company and now you have to speak at this really big conference. Let's say
And I am afraid.
you are afraid, but not for long. Okay. So here's what will happen. We've closed, yay. And then what I've done is I've found out your mailing address. And so I send you 2 presents. I send you a copy of my book because I know that the learning process is helpful when things come at us from different angles, right? We're talking and you're learning, and then you can read. Or some people are like, I hate reading. I want an audiobook. We can make that happen. We have the technology. And so that can happen. And I also send you a deck of my affirmation cards, which actually I have some right here. Oh, that's a little not really showing so much because there's a lot of blue happening here, but
Okay.
mindset is such a critical piece of things. And so I want to give you physical aids to help you, the book, something tangible you can touch, and affirmation cards, because we're going to immediately dive into your mindset about this in our first session, unless you are really pressed for time and the conference is next week. Then we're going to do other things. But we're going to, do you know who Marie Kondo is, Pedro?
No, please enlighten me.
Yeah, she's an organizer who helped popularize the term spark joy. Does this spark joy for you? Does this, make you light up? Anyway, we're going to go through your mindset. We're going to Marie Kondo your mindset and find out what belief systems around public speaking make your body feel safe. As I said earlier, creating that sense of safety so people can think clearly and creatively under pressure is critical. So we're going to jump into a whole mindset exercise, which is very individual. You can't get it wrong. And we're going to find out what lights you up in terms of moving towards this experience. How do we make this about service instead of about self-consciousness? How do we think about your audience so we become obsessed with them rather than oh my God, what are my hands doing? Or, oh my God. And when we talk about nerves, what the heck do you do with them? Should I feel none of them? Are they my enemy? What the heck do I do? And my body is giving me this very normal response. What do I do? So we talk through all of that to find out specifically, it's not one size fits all, specifically what helps you feel, or at least start to feel excited about this engagement rather than feeling like you're about to get in front of a firing squad. And I do know that some people, it is a little bit like they're getting in front of a fire squad. There's maybe really critical people in their company. They're getting up to defend their dissertation, and there's people who want to pick their ideas apart. So we get them ready to make it so that the stakes out there of impact are bigger than their personal stakes. Does that make sense? It's basically why does this talk matter? Why is it so important that people hear this and get it? Because we want to get excited about that rather than, oh my God, I'm not getting a promotion, or, oh my God, they're going to think this. We want to take this and have it not be about you at all. Yes, I realize you're going to be assessed. Yes, I realize that you being good at this could help you get promoted. I understand all of that. I don't want that front and center. That puts so much pressure, and you can't think clearly when you're creating this. We want to create something that's really interesting and takes the audience on an intellectual journey, an emotional journey. We want to find the funny parts. We want to find the serious parts. We want this to be an embodied performance. So we're going to go from finding out how to make you feel safe as you prepare, and how to really analyze your audience so we can find out the best way to get them to take the action you want them to take by the end. And we want to move them intellectually, and we want to move them emotionally. I've said a lot of things here, Pedro.
No, that's good. It's a podcast, right? Expect it. No, okay. Here's the thing. Pedro joined, and Pedro did all the homework. Has read part of the book, has doing the things, all the crossing all the.
Amanda is very pleased.
Okay, Amanda's pleased, but Pedro is Amanda, I'm still scared. Whenever I'm practicing, even in practice, I cannot get relaxed. I'm always stressing. And I did like a mock with even some friends, like at my home, 5 people, and I was like super nervous. And I'm doing the things. How can and I, be helped? Am I a lost cause? How do you navigate that, Pedro?
How do I navigate that, Pedro? I think really just continuing to reframe what this is about. And one thing I want to say right out is that it is okay to be nervous. Like, I realize because often people are getting very nervous about being nervous. Like, oh my God, my nervous, this is bad. Oh my God, I'm nervous. Now I'm nervous about being nervous. And that's really nerve wracking. And oh my God, that's nervous. I understand. It's like, where does that begin? Where does that end? So my goal isn't necessarily to say, I want you to be totally calm, because like, if I like delivered a whole talk and I was totally calm like this, it'd be really boring and I'd put you to sleep. Right. So if I want people to be alive, I want them, it is okay that your body has sensations. And so having a relationship with like, ooh, my heart is racing a little bit. It's okay. Ooh, my hands are shaking a little bit. It's okay. Because then we're not letting those sensations set off that something is really wrong. Something is wrong. Like if we think, I know that you're a football fan, soccer fan, for whoever's listening, just so we know we're talking about a black and white ball. Imagine what those players are feeling as they start, or even if you've played sports, the coach is about, the referee's about to blow that whistle, and you're there on the line, and you can maybe feel yourself sweat a little bit. You can feel fully present. Your heart is racing, and it's okay though, because you are focused and you're ready to get the ball in the goal. And as you're running, even if you trip and you rip your uniform, you get dirty, you do not care. It is not about you. It's about getting that ball in the goal. So I really try to help people have peace with what their nervous system is doing. Now I realize that some people, some people come to me, they're like, oh my gosh, I take beta blockers. Is that okay? Sure. Like, you got to do what you've got to do. But often it's really what can help people also is feeling really, really good about their material. I have watched people say to me, they're almost confessing. They're like, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm actually really looking forward to doing this because I think this is really good. I'm like, all right, you're almost there. You're almost there. And it's just like, if they're like, ooh, that's a good point. Ooh, I love what I'm saying there. This makes it make sense. Oh, that's going to be fun. It really starts to get the focus off them. And then sometimes you do just have to jump in, and you still have those sensations, and you can actually still do an excellent job. I had a client for whom she was new to a company, newly an executive at this company, and needed to speak at their huge all staff event, like a huge thing in Europe. And everything that could go wrong during the tech rehearsal leading into it did. So like, we had pictured her having lots of time to rehearse on that stage. Nope. There was like echoing in the building. There was things wrong with this and that. She was dealing with a time change. And so she was really, and I had given her a meditation to listen to, and she was really like, oh my gosh, did all that work pay off? Like, oh my God, can I do this? Oh my God. But the minute she got on that stage, she was so solidly prepared with her material that she's like, I know what I'm doing. It was just, there was so much unknown and weirdness leading into it. But she's like, as soon as I got on there, I knew exactly where I was going. I knew exactly what I was doing. And so even all the nerves leading into it, it didn't determine. And she got so much positive feedback on how good it was. Like, and she was different afterwards. That's what I love too, is like, we hope the audience is different after, but I'm also excited for my client to be different in their own skin. Like, she did it. She is like, the way her whole colleagues see her now, the way she sees herself, which is almost the most important thing, is like, she can do the next thing. And one thing I want to add is, oh, good. Oh, good is something that it's really easy to go into situations like I described, where the rehearsal is going sideways, that the mic isn't working, we're delayed, I have to cut my presentation short, all these unknowns. we can go into panic very quickly with the response, oh no, oh no, oh my God, oh no. And I cannot think clearly when I go into oh no. And what I do with myself and also with my clients is I'm like, we're going to practice saying, oh, good to absolutely everything that crosses your path. We're going to decide that life is for you and that you can handle it. And it becomes funny, even if you don't believe it. Hey, we're running behind. Oh, good. Like, I end up sitting up straighter. I can breathe. I'm like deciding that's all right. And my brain then will tell me why this is an advantage. And so, oh, good is your secret weapon for anyone listening. Try it.
Oh no, I just forgot what I was about to ask now.
Oh, good. I can talk more.
Oh, good. I can talk now. Okay, let's rock and roll then. Oh, good. So, couple things, right? It's so funny. Like you're mentioning the rehearsal and all of that, and I'm thinking about some of my high school days when I was prepping to cheat the next day on an exam. Right? Have you ever done that? You're prepping to cheat. And then you don't even use the paper because, hey, is this what studying looks like? Really? I don't need to cheat now? That's one. The second is, okay, let's fast forward a little bit, around 2 to 3 weeks. This episode is aired, and I sent it over to my cousin, long distance cousin called Pedra. Okay. She's an evil cousin, by the way, that girl. She's sassy. And I sent her the episode and she's like, yeah, easy for Amanda, right? Amanda is like master acting, whatever. I mean, she can talk, but can I talk? So how would you navigate that type of mentality? Because I bet a lot of people out there are like, yeah, she's great. She can talk. She's had all this background.
Good for her.
But I don't. Good for her. But that doesn't serve me. I'm terrible,
So my question about your sassy cousin Pedra, and part of me thinks she's real, and then part of me thinks you're making her up. But maybe we'll never know.
You never know that.
Okay, great. Does she want to get better at it?
Okay. Yeah, I know where we're going with this, but let's say yes.
Just tell me, and I'll take it either one way or other. Because if she doesn't, let's not waste our time.
She wants to get better, but she's like skin deep at the moment. She's like surface level, want to be better because she's in denial about her own stuff. Okay, but yeah, she wants it.
She's a resistant hero. She's a reluctant hero. Like if we think about a movie, she's the reluctant hero.
Yes.
Okay, so that discussion would be like where we would dive in is like we would really go into her why. Why is she doing this? Why does this matter? And not just on the personal level, but really, why does this matter for the audience? Like, what are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? Let's say I had an eating disorder and I want to talk about that with teenage girls. Okay, so I could make this all about really worrying about what these teenage girls are going to say about me. Are they going to like my outfit? Are they going to think my shoes are cool? Are they going to think I'm like, who am I to talk to them? Okay, so I can make that all about me. And then I'd be really nervous because like I think teenage girls could be really scary, right? Or
True.
like I would, let's say I was my client, I would be like, what happens if these young ladies don't hear what you say? Where could their life go? What could happen to them? Like you have this chance to like help them not struggle the way you did. You have a chance to like let them sleep at night and not derail their whole lives. You have a chance, like you have that opportunity. And that is the direction I would go. The whole thing of like really moving to impact and empowerment and getting people fired up. Like if you're really angry about, let's say, use this example that I'm grabbing out of thin air, but this idea of, are you upset that there are messages out there for women having to look a certain way? Let's get fired up about that. Let's get fired up and be like, I'm upset that young girls think they have to starve themselves, or I don't know what young girls think they need to do these days, but like, I'm that upset. Like, I don't like that. I'm like, great, let's fight for that. Let's help women see something different. Let's help them feel something different. And so I want to get them more in their heart and their gut of like, all right, yeah, this can't stand, because it's amazing when you might be like pretty shy, but if you're really angry about something or fiery about it, you get a lot more courage. right? And so it's like getting people charged up to make a difference. Like, okay, what, who are we fighting for? Who are we advocating for? Who are we fighting for? We want to make it about them instead of us. Time for a drink of water. How does that feel? Do you think Pedro?
I love that. That is cool.
Well, okay, good. Yeah, because passion, courage is in the heart. It's in the gut. Go team. Go Brazil.
Okay, go Brazil. Yes, I like that. Okay, now let's shift gears for a second here. I want to talk about future a little bit with you. Okay, so where are you taking all this? Looking ahead, where do you see the business going? What's exciting?
Brazilian public speaking. No, I'm just kidding.
Good luck with that.
I know. I don't speak Portuguese, so I don't think that's going to be for me. But where am I taking all of this? For me, things I'm working on right now are, I have some group programs, both in person and online, because I want to have that bigger impact. So I think one I'm going to newly launch in the fall. So I'm excited about that. But in terms of things that I'm working through mentally are some of my packages in terms of figuring out the best way to describe, because it is I can help you with your fear. I can help you with your writing. I can help, it's a little bit of that, what do you got? But it's having to it's everything we talked about, making the packages even more specific so that people self-identify and they've no question. They're like, oh, I need that. They see the menu, it's very clear and they pick it. And what I have so far has worked out, but I think it could be working even better with that specificity. So I think it's, really wanting to just get the word out more about myself too.
The word out more. Okay. Now let's step into a little bit of a sci-fi moment here. Okay.
I'm ready.
Let's pretend we have a time machine in front of us. We're going to have two stops too. First one, you can go back in time when you started the coaching business, the speaking coaching business, and you can give past Amanda, that day you just started, one piece of business advice you wish you knew back then. What would that be?
I know it looks like Riverside just froze, but it didn't. I'm just really still and thinking. One piece of a business advice. I think it would be to feel okay to talk about pricing with people. I think pricing is such a sensitive topic. And when I was doing all of this, there weren't a million coaches everywhere. So it didn't feel like there were tons of places for me to go to have those conversations. And typically when I ended up having them, the feedback would be I really think you should be charging more. So I think it'd be charge more earlier, because it's weird. You get feedback charge your worth. And it's I thought I was priceless. I thought I had intrinsic worth. I thought I was, and that's something I'm always, I work with people on is release the need to prove your worth, because that gets in the way of the creativity of doing a talk or a pitch or whatever it is. Release the need to prove your worth, prove your point, prove that your widget, prove that your system, prove this is great with data and all that, but your worth is set. So charging my worth, this coaching is priceless, but priceless doesn't pay the bills, right? So I think figuring out how to think about pricing earlier would have been cool. That was a long answer to your specific. What's the one piece of advice? Yeah.
You're hitting a nerve here, right? I'm a coach too. So there's this, right? There's this. I was charging by the hour for some time. And then I realized I was turning myself into a commodity. And people were comparing my fees to whatever industry people charge by the hour, cleaning lady to dentist, you name it. Made no sense. Also, whenever I was charging by hour, I was if I end up 10 minutes later, should I charge them more? If I wrap up 10 minutes earlier, do I owe them money? So that's one thing.
Oh,
that's weird.
See, but I do love the ethics. I do love that you're an ethical person in that way who's
Yeah.
like, what's the right and fair thing to do? I like that you have that struggle, even though it's cute and funny now. And I know that's not the point of this conversation, but I do want to like say that's cute. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And then eventually got to a point of I oppose the charge your worth quote. I am more about right now the transformation, right? What's the transformation you deliver? It's not about your worth. It's about
Amen. I'm with you.
Yeah, right. And what you can help them accomplish, not necessarily because I also think it's kind of weird the worth thing. And by the way, coaching it's a very self-worth path. I see coaches out there struggling with that, right? And sometimes I see coaches out there, like for example, trying to do pro bono, right? And it always goes back to I've used this example in the podcast sometimes. It's just like that meme. You have a fridge on a sidewalk, and it's like there's a note, free, take it. Okay. A week goes by, nobody picks it up, and then someone puts a price tag, $50, and it vanishes the other day, right? Because it's the perception of value. Some people, when they see free, they feel like it's worthless, because you're in their point of view you're not charging for your time, so you don't value your time. And whenever we're talking about coaching, sometimes it's very a personal thing about buying your time, right? You can package it, you can whatever you want to do it, like hourly, but eventually it's your energy out there, right? So, oh my God, you hit a nerve. Sorry, I got into a long rambling too, right beside you. So sorry about that.
Oh my God, no, that's fine because it's a really wild topic. Yeah, and I haven't done things. I'm trying to think about. I think there have been some nonprofits that have approached me where I'm so in love with their mission. Like I'm just like I'm smitten. There was a company where I'm like, oh my God, you're doing amazing things, and I give them a reduced rate because I do want to because I want them to have skin in the game. I want this to matter. I want them to value it. And I want to also make it's almost like a little bit of a contribution to the organization. So I will do that. And that's different than like a volunteer gig. You know what I mean? But I will not all nonprofits. It's the ones that I'm like super crushing on.
Yeah, it's like I've seen people like if you frame it like the money as an exchange, like you can exchange other things, right? You could exchange a testimonial, a guaranteed testimonial at the end if it succeeded. You can exchange, you could pilot something through a pro bono. Like, oh, I'm not sure about the software. I want to try here, or I want to put some reps here. So if you frame it properly, you can get things out of pro bono. It's doable, like totally. And also the mission, right? When you love it. Now, moving forward to our second stop in our time machine, okay, before we get into another rabbit hole, let's say you can go back in time.
Yeah.
Okay. You pick the point in your journey in the coaching business. It's that moment you felt the most fulfilled, right? A moment that you realize, okay, this is why I'm doing this, because this happened. It could be like several moments, but I'm kind of a one moment guy in case you haven't noticed. But if you have one moment, what would that be?
So specific, Pedro.
Top of mind, right?
Yeah, top of mind. Okay.
Top of mind.
All right. So I'll go. We'll go back in time. There was a woman who super, super, super smart and was preparing to be interviewed at Harvard for a role in their one of their science departments. And she was young. She was very ambitious and very, very smart and really wanted this, understandably. And like, here it is. It's Harvard, which has a lot of weight to it. And so, and to any of these academic teaching tracks, like you have to do so much to like a million interviews during the day, maybe the next day during meals. You have so little time to think. And then you have to perhaps do something for the public and something for the campus at the end of all of this. You're very tired. And so what I really worked on with her, and I had the insight to do, and I'm just going to, is really leaning into the idea that she's going to do this amazing, I'm just going to call it science. she's going to innovate. She's going to do this whether Harvard hires her or not. And like they can jump on her party, like the party that, and I think I use the analogy like the train has left the station. You're going to do this, period. You're going to get funding and support from somewhere, and they would be lucky to be alongside as you like do these amazing things. You invent completely new things. That would be so like, it's not that you are desperate for them to hire you, which would be very easy to step into, right? But it's like they like how, and not turn it into arrogant, like you are just lucky to have me, but more that like let me show you my vision. I'd love to have you, with me on this journey, but this is what I'm doing, period. Like I wanted that energy. So I feel that my own inner healing work, my own inner journey work in terms of really seeing the nuance of power, in terms of like, when do I feel empowered and when do I give my power away? And being able to explain that to clients and help them to see what, like that belief system around what this means is everything. You bring that in the room. That's the way you write the talk. It's everything. It determines how many nerves you have. It's like, what is this? Am I there to be like, please like me? Not attractive in an interview, not attractive on a date, right? Or if it's like, I'm excited to share with you what I am about, what I see, what I'm doing. I would love to be here and do all of this, but I'm doing it, right? And find the nuance of what feels good to your nervous system and sounds like it echoes in the room in a good way. So we did all of that, and she was hired. She got it. And so the idea of having female in a top position at Harvard, like that, like I'm not a scientist, but I'm impacting science. And so all the layers of helping somebody go after their dream in an empowered way and like make a difference in their field, and me having like a little piece of that, like really, I want to smoke a cigarette after, Pedro. It's very satisfying.
Yes. It's like, yes, this is awesome. Okay. I love that. Now, Amanda, if someone listening wants to connect with you or follow your work, right? And we're going to have all the links in the description, but what's the best way for people to find you and connect with you?
Well, there's a few different ways, I would say.
As we already established.
As we've established, yes. You don't need to. And it's okay. If you live in Kansas City, you live in Tallahassee, you live in Reno, you don't have to just live in those places. You can really, the power of Zoom is behind us. So even if you live across the world, so we got Amanda at SanDiegoPublicSpeaking.com. If you'd like to type a little less, we've got Amanda at BostonPublicSpeaking.com. And also I do training in companies for teams. So if you're trying to get your team to have more confidence and more personality and less fear, then I'm your gal. So reach out.
Okay. Now, a few moments I feel the urge to highlight from the chat today. Okay, let's start from the origin story, right? The Lois and Clark story. Love that. Now, it's not just about that, right? When you start coaching, it's like you received invitations to help you with stuff like, can you train me on this? Can you help me with that? And so organic, so natural, right? In a way that it's not like you woke up a day and like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm a coach now. And like, go for it. Not necessarily. It's just something that grew on you. People start reaching out. So really like that. And in a way, based on your origin story and looking back at the conversation, to me, you're serving past Amanda, right? It's like you had that, you've been there, done that. You suffer from a little bit of a stage fright, physically even. So there's that. So that's always great to watch, because you do have skin in the game. Okay. So That's
I
one
get
thing.
it. I get how bad
You
it
get
feels.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I love the fact when we were talking about the little peek behind the curtain, you're like, yeah, it's okay to be nervous, you mentioned, right? It's almost like acknowledging the reality. It's like, it's okay, own it, breathe a little, understand this is normal, and then move forward. It's not just, no, I'm not scared, nothing, on denial or something like that. I'm not nervous. No, it's not going to be a walk in the park, but we'll make it, right? So there's that too. Now about Sassy Pedra, right? Oh my God, I
Yeah.
started on a high note and you brought me deep, right? Sassy Pedra, like why this matters. Like if she's giving you a hard time, she's like, you're attacking her purpose. It's almost like anchoring the why, the goal, right? And that eventually it has to be bigger than you, because you're going to have your upsides and you're going to have your downsides. And then when you're down, you're going to need that anchor, that why, that purpose, why is it worth it? So
And I
this is
just want
just
to
my
say,
right.
and I would channel Pedra's sassiness, because when you tell me she's sassy, whether she's fictional or you're going to talk to her after this podcast,
You never know.
you never know. Like she has feelings and thoughts and a point of view. Let's work with that fire.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, I gotta match the energy. Now, I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate you being here and sharing so openly today, Amanda. It was great having you on.
Thank you so much. I loved it too. I loved our conversation. Thanks for letting me share, and have a good one.
That's it for this episode. This episode, as well as this podcast, was brought to you by Purple Circle, where we help business owners elevate their business to 6, 7, and 8-figure years, all without burning out. If you're looking to grow your business, as well as get the time freedom that you are looking for, visit us at joinpurplecircle.com and see what we can do to help you and your business.